Well, I guess it's not exciting news, but this is big news. So, and I'll tell you at the end why. But let me just tell you a little bit about CalTri. CalTri is the weirdest organization I've ever been unfortunate to be part of, right? And here's the deal is, so CalTri, this is where it gets confusing. They make it look like they're based out of California, but they're really not. CalTri is actually based out of, like, I don't know, some DC or somewhere. It's a weird Annapolis, or I don't even know, somewhere up that way, right? So it's not even a southern company, it's just kind of up northern. Anyway, and I just went the different direction I wanted to go. And so so they came to Fort Worth probably about, probably 5 years ago. No, it would have been more longer than that. So maybe it's been 7, 8 years ago. CalTri was coming to Fort Worth. Now, years ago, even before that, they reached out to me about partnering with them. And I just didn't understand what they were asking, right? I was like, well, this is not a partnership. This is me giving you everything and you not paying for anything, right? And so I was like, you guys are weird. Who are you people? But anyway, I digress. And so they come to Fort Worth, they reach out to me, and they want me they're going to go to Marine Creek, where all my venues are in Fort Worth, and they want to hire me as a consultant for that area. And I was like, sure. And because I had already made the maps for this, like I've already built the course out because we had a race there later that year. And so basically they paid me a good chunk of change to consult them. Gave them all the information, but the guy in charge of this operation, he's a nut, right? I'm not gonna say his name, but this guy is a nut. He would yell at people and scream at people who aren't getting paid. Like they're there to be they're volunteered, and to me that's just crazy. But anyway, I get there. I'd given this guy my maps, so he's basically run the same course. Now, truth be told, he's about to do the dry run on his dime and his risk, and it'll be our reward, right? So we'll be able to look at what he does and then kind of correct from there. But next thing I know, this guy's got me running the swim course, right? And he's got these buoys, he didn't have a way to blow them up. Like, this guy is not prepared at all to put on a triathlon, and yet he does this all over the country, and that's what's so bizarre. But for some reason, it's like this one was his first one, and I think Fort Worth then was the first one of the year. A couple years ago they changed, and it's their last one of the year. But anyway, then it got to where, can you bring a table? Can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? And it was just like, I was just being asked to bring and do so many things that I'm like, okay, I'm still getting paid a lot of money, not a problem. But I thought I would have already had this worked out more than 2 days before my event, right? And so, it was just the most chaotic thing. Yeah, I just went the wrong way. I don't know what I'm doing. It was the most chaotic environment I'd ever been part of. And, you know, it was just freaking bizarre. But anyway, and so then we get through all that, and it got to where, like, I'm out there, it's race morning with my trailer that's got my company name on it. Everybody in this environment knows me. But this was such a shit show that I was hiding myself from the world. I didn't want anybody to know that I was part of this event. I didn't want anybody to know I was there. And I saw a few people, and it was just like so ridiculous. Like, buoys wouldn't stay in his place. He didn't have a way to anchor him down. Wanted me to go buy the stuff. Like, it was just dumb, right? And as the course was just blowing around, he decided, you know what? Let's just go to that buoy and back. Like, it's not measured. So the thing about CalTri is CalTri is trying to be the anti-government race, right? Where they're actually trying to not be governed by our governing body, USAT. Which I get that. People have tried. So it's basically an insurance thing. But now it's more. Because now they've become the standard of how events should be done, right? As far as how many guards, how many individuals and safety and blah 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 blah, right? We've always done USAT regulations and guidance because it's just easier, it's safer, and we're familiar with it, But CalTri doesn't. They won't do it. They have their own insurance, and they try to get people to partner with them because they're like, oh, it'll be cheaper on their insurance. Yeah, but if I have one event and you got 7, it's going to be cheaper, more for you than me. But anyway, so with that being said, he's kind of a rogue. It'd be like if me and a few friends decided we're going to go to the lake and do a triathlon. That's about how it is. I don't know how they do their timing. I've never been able to experience one of their races because I don't have to. I've heard so many people talk about what a shit show it is. Oh, but yeah. So if anybody ever asks me, I'm like, do not sign up. It's a waste of money, and it's very, very expensive. It's like $75 to $100 just to do these little races. I'll tell you another story. The next year, 2 years after, when I wasn't involved with him, the volunteer who's coning the course didn't get there in time, and the bike course didn't actually have cones on it, which is super unsafe. And I don't know, I just don't get it. And yet they have this weird following where people post up and share and promote them, and it's just, I don't know, it's ridiculous to me. So now let's go back up to present day. Now, and this is typical, this guy who's in charge of this, on their website, it looks like they have all these major sponsors like Google, Amazon, all this stuff. And you're like, there's no way these major companies are paying you that much money to put on a crappy race. And this guy that puts it on is I don't think he's ever done a triathlon. He doesn't look like he could do a triathlon. Just kind of a weird setup. And so then I'm thinking as I'm talking, that's what's messing me up. All right, let's just go to present day. And here's why they're dead. So a couple days ago, I get an email from the entity who runs the body of water that we're going to be at. Now, in the past, this entity and City Fort Worth have not really talked together or worked together. And now they decided, since this CrossFitter died a year or so ago, that, these people are doing some dangerous things and we need to, I don't know, be ready, have control. I'm not sure what their thought was. Maybe it's just no shit moment. So they sent an email out saying, hey, we're okay this year, but going forward next year, we're going to be requiring USAT standards and requirements for triathlons. And which that means, guards per swimmers, there's ambulance, fire, like all these requirements to be on site, which is great. That's what I've always done. We've always done it that way because that's the safest way to go, and that's our governing body, right? So now we're being told we need to make sure we're playing by the rules that we've always been playing by because that's how you do it. But then I thought, oh shit, CalTri doesn't play by any of those rules, nor will they. And they're not gonna be allowed to come back there. I mean, CalTri Fort Worth is going to be dead. Like, they can't come back to Fort Worth because they won't ever do that. Now, this will probably spread too because there's no way they're doing a dangerous, horrible event only in Fort Worth. They've got to be doing it other places too. Now, unless they just are tapped into a bigger market of volunteers, I don't know. I feel like they've made some good money, and now it's time for them to pull the plug and move on. Years ago, they were trying to put on a half and a full Iron Distance series to compete with Ironman. These people from day one have been trying to compete with the big dog, And that's what they wanted me to do with them years ago, because I had an independent half and a full, and they wanted me to partner with them. And what didn't make sense is they wanted me to pay them to be part of their group and receive a discount on da-da-da-da-da, right? And it just made no sense. You know, it's like you have to find these people that are anti-USAT to jump on board with you. And that's, it's rare if you're gonna find somebody to do that. So, there you go. Caltri, Fort Worth, there ain't no way you're coming back. Operating the way you currently operate. So, all right, guys, if you made it this long, thank you so much. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the bell if you want to know when I go live. I'm going to start posting more that are not lives. I've decided I'm going to have days that I post. A day at a time, I'm going to be more consistent with it. I commit, starting next week, I'm going to do it. And so, subscribe if you haven't. I would really appreciate it. And until next time, bye.